Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
An unbelievable tragedy out of Texas. Dozens found dead after being abandoned in a tractor trailer. We take a look at that investigation and how this happened. Plus, states around the country putting their own abortion laws in place after last week's overturning of Roe v. Wade. South Carolina is no exception. Last night, Governor McMaster signed South Carolina's fetal heartbeat bill into law. It says abortions are not allowed after 6 weeks. The only exceptions are rape, incest, and if the mother's life is in absolute danger. Craig Allison, live in our newsroom to break down what the impact looks like for South Carolina as well as Georgia.
Well, things are moving fast for South Carolina. Aside from a 20-week deadline for cases of rape or incest, there is no exception to the fetal heartbeat. Have said that with this law being so new, they're unable to comment on how they'll enforce this or what the punishment would be for breaking it. On the Georgia side, things are complicated in Augusta. District Attorney Jared Williams says that his office is refusing to prosecute people who seek, assist, or provide abortions. In a statement from Friday, his office says this is a part of a movement of 83 elected prosecutors from around the U.S. who say criminalizing abortion is a mockery of justice. We asked him today what he wants to focus on.
Our singular focus is public safety. So we're going to keep working every day to make sure that we have less violent crime on our streets, that we have fewer people harming our children, harming our loved ones. That's what my focus is.
When we reached out to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office about how this will work in their relationship with the district attorney, they said they have no comment.
Craig, thanks for the update there live in our newsroom. Going to give you a live look outside now.
Umbrella as you're heading out the door. Well, much more on the holiday forecast coming up next.
The Aiken County Sheriff's Office still looking for 2 suspects connected to a shooting that left 3 teenagers dead over the weekend. Deputies are looking for 20-year-old Alvin Artis and a 15-year-old minor in that shooting. A third suspect, 18-year-old Xavier Bailey, already in custody and expected to be charged with those 3 counts of murder. If you know anything about where Artis and the other teenager might be, call the Aiken County Sheriff's Office at the number there on the screen. The number of dead rising to 50 after smugglers abandoned a truck full of migrants yesterday in the sweltering Texas heat. Omar Villafranca has the latest from the scene in San Antonio.
The tragedy in South Texas continued to grow in scope on Tuesday. Federal officials tell CBS News they believe it's the deadliest human smuggling case in modern U.S. history. The grim discovery happened Monday on the side of the road in southwest San Antonio. A worker heard cries for help coming from a parked tractor trailer. Authorities say 46 migrants were dead on the scene. Others died later.
We're not supposed to open up a truck and see stacks of bodies in there.
More than a dozen survivors were hospitalized, including several children.
The patients that we saw were hot to the touch. They were suffering from heat stroke, heat exhaustion. No signs of water in the vehicle. It was a refrigerated tractor trailer, but there was no visible working AC unit on that rig.
Temperatures in the area on Monday ranged from the upper 90s to the low 100s.
If it's 100 outside, it goes from about 125 degrees inside without water, without air, without nothing. It's ridiculous.
The truck was found near Interstate 35, a highway that runs from the Texas-Mexico border to Minnesota and is often used by smugglers.
This is nothing short of a horrific human tragedy.
Investigators say 3 suspects were taken into custody at another location. They are still looking for the driver of the truck and anyone else who might have been involved. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, San Antonio, Texas.
And this is not the first time it's happened there in San Antonio. Back in 2017, 10 people died after being left in a truck. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, holding a surprise hearing today. They say they have new evidence to share. The committee called in an executive assistant for former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to testify. She says members of Congress wanted pardons from the president for their roles in fighting to overturn the election results.
Mr. Gates and Mr. Brooks, I know, both advocated for there to be a blanket pardon for members involved in that meeting and a handful of other members that
Congress conducts its January 6th investigation, the U.S. Justice Department is also continuing to look into potential crimes surrounding the events of that day. Polls are open right now for the South Carolina runoff. Doors opened at 7 this morning. Voters have until 7 tonight to cast that vote. In most counties, voters will make their choice for the Republican nominee for state superintendent or the Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate. Voters in Allendale County also voted for sheriff and the District 3 seat on county council. And don't forget, happening tonight, a Charlie Puth concert. Here's a live look at Evans Town Center Park. Those gates open at 6:30 this evening. The concert kicks off at 8 o'clock tonight. It is general admission lawn seating there. And that's not all. They're holding a pre-concert party nearby. That's on Evans Town Center Boulevard from 4:30 until 6:20 with vendors, food trucks, and a DJ. Big party tonight in Columbia County. More companies are offering ways to support their employees in the wake of Roe v. Wade. We take a look at what they're offering those workers when we come back. First to 5. Anthony.
We're talking about more rain as we go through this evening. On and off showers and storms will continue. Now getting closer to the downtown Augusta area. We'll time out the storms coming up after the break. Tomorrow. And more rain is on the way as we get closer to the holiday weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday seeing the chance for a few more scattered storms. Turns a little bit more isolated by Sunday night into Monday, and a few hit or miss showers possible on the 4th of July.
Richard, like the 80s. Anthony, thanks. Corporate America reacting to the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Dozens of companies are now pledging support for their employees seeking an abortion, with some offering to reimburse employees for travel out of state to get the procedure. Jen Sullivan has a closer look at that response.
Taking a stance, a growing list of well-known companies are responding to the Supreme Court's historic ruling on abortion, pledging support and financial assistance for employees.
Companies are talking about social issues all the time, and this is one that affects a lion's share of their population of employees. And so to stay silent on it, I can't imagine why any company would be willing to do that.
These are some of the dozens of corporate giants extending their help to staff, including Nike, Kroger, Zillow, and Alaska Airlines. Many of them reimbursing travel expenses for employees seeking abortions who live in states that ban or restrict the procedure. Yelp is one of those companies, calling the decision a denial of human rights and a threat to workplace gender equality.
We believe that all people deserve the right to choose for their own bodies whatever it is that they choose.
Starbucks also covering travel, saying it will always ensure workers have access to quality health care. And Netflix says it will offer a lifetime allowance of up to $10,000 for full-time employees and their dependents to cover travel expenses. The High Court's decision placing companies in the crosshairs, balancing controversial social issues and their own corporate values, and those of a diverse workforce and consumer base.
I think for any employer that cares about issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion, to stay silent on such an issue is really just not okay.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
That ruling comes as companies struggle to attract and retain talent, and Yelp says its stand on abortion rights has so far been a successful recruiting tool. Renters in Georgia looking into their rights after going without AC for months. The heat, of course, has been brutal, and we take a look at their fight. But First at 5 continues.
July
99. It's hard to imagine, but some people living in Atlanta have been living without air conditioning for months. One woman says her unit and others have not had AC since April. She says it's unbearable most days, and instead of fixing the problem, the landlord is offering them $500 off 1 month's rent and a portable AC unit. Attorney Stephanie Sparks works for Atlanta Legal Aid and says renters do have rights.
Very uncomfortable, and it's not fair because I pay my rent on time every month, and I've been here for 5 years.
Can take them to court and sue them for the lack of air conditioning if your unit had air conditioning to begin with. If it didn't, then you're kind of out of luck.
So if you're in that situation and court is not an option, Sparks says to make a written request for a portable air conditioning unit and request a rent reduction until the issue is resolved. A new tool joining the Bryan County Sheriff's Office. Meet Darcy and her handler, Jennifer. Darcy's trained to sniff out electronic storage devices like SD cards, which can be really small and easily hidden. Child abusers use these devices to store images of their victims.
We execute the search warrant by human first,
And then what we do is once everything we feel we got every bit of evidence we can, then I go and get Darcy and I run her through the house or the vehicles or shed. Just kind of depends on what the circumstances are. And she will alert to hidden devices.
Amazing talent there. The office purchased Darcy through community donations and with the help of an organization called Defenders for Children. 3 Lowcountry businesses are sponsoring a campaign to help protect Charleston's crab bank. It's located right there in the harbor, an essential resting spot for birds making their way from South America up to Canada. It was recently created after the old one slowly eroded and then washed away completely during Hurricane Irma in 2017. The 32-acre crab bank was made from sand and material from the Charleston Deepening Project.
The fact that these small brands, these small local brands are working to support our environment, our local environment is so important. Like I'm so grateful to them for their support.
They're going to be sponsoring 3 boats to monitor that crab bank and prevent people from docking or landing, especially during breeding season. The 4th of July, a favorite holiday for millions of us, also a very dangerous holiday for smartphones. And every year, one repair company has to bring in extra technicians just to make sure every unhappy smartphone owner gets some help. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains.
There are 365 days in 2022, and of all of them, the 4th day in July is the most dangerous for smartphones, as according to a report by the device insurance and repair company Assuria. Assurian's Larry Murphy tells me it's about a 50% increase over their next busiest day of the year.
2 things: cracked glass, liquid damage. I mean, people are out and about, they're doing things with their devices, they're excited, lots of movement, a lot of cracks, a lot of drops, and then a lot of liquid damage.
Last year, Assurian saw an 80% increase in water-related damage, a 10% increase in cracked screens, and a 65% surge in lost devices. Lost as in at the bottom of the ocean or dropped off a cliff. So what should you do between now and the 4th to prepare for the possibility that something will happen to your precious device?
I'll tell you, first and foremost, back up your device. Set your device to back up on a regular basis, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly. Make sure that your information is backed up. Next is going to be put a case on there, right? If you are going to be near an environment where there's lots of water, we recommend going after a waterproof case. The next thing, liquid glass. If you don't want to put a case on there, put some type of liquid glass on your screen, because it's going to help prevent or at least save your device when you drop it.
The good news is most phones are water repellent today, so if they get a little water on them, even drop them in water for a short amount of time, they're probably going to be okay. But the best way to protect your smartphone on a holiday, if you're going to be out on the water, put it somewhere safe, leave it alone, and enjoy the day. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Solid advice right there. Summertime always brings a surge in phone repair claims. After the 4th of July, Memorial Day and Labor Day rank as the 2nd and 3rd most dangerous days of the year. But Anthony, I'm a runner, and when I get caught in the rain, the best thing to have is a Ziploc bag.
The Ziploc bag, that you'll never go wrong there for sure. You can also get there's more of a plastic little, I don't know how to describe it. It's more of like I want to say crunch, but it's something that really keeps it nice and solid there. If you're heading up to the lake this weekend, more shower opportunities, and we're going to be talking about more rain over the next couple of days as well. Now look at that forecast coming up next.
Gerald Jones, Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Okay, we are back with another animal on the loose, this time on the California freeway. There she is down there. Police were chasing a couple of wild bears last night, and they did cause some traffic backups. What is that, 5 lanes shut down there? They managed to catch one of those bears. The second one, though, is still on the run. And look at the size of that, Anthony. We're not talking about some cubs here. That is a massive bear.
That is a full-on bear just walking along the side of the freeway. That was a lot of traffic backed up to 5 lanes. Look at them just hauling that guy in the back of the pickup truck there.
And that's a tranquilizer gun there you see on the screen,
Yep,
right?
you can see it right
takes
there.
a big tranquilizer dart to get that one to fall asleep. I'll tell you that right there.
Hey, I'm just glad that the bear didn't cross into traffic. When you're trying to go 5 lanes one direction, if you're crossing the whole interstate, 10 lanes of
good
traffic.
luck getting across that.
So I'm glad they were able to get him out of the way, and hopefully he's going to be doing better out there in the woods.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be going outside later on this evening, stay away from the highways, and you're going to be needing that rain jacket. 71 degrees by about 9 o'clock this evening. We're going to keep those isolated shower risks going through the rest of this evening. A current look at radar does show some heavier rain activity in our northern counties right now. Edgefield, you guys are seeing a lot of lightning out there, heavy rain, and also northern sections of the lake in McCormick and Lincoln County also seeing some of those heavier showers. And the rain is starting to get into the Augusta area. We had a good rumble of thunder here at this station not too long ago, so you don't need to have heavy rainfall to get lightning and thunder. So just make sure if you do see some of those showers going on, just to get inside and away from all of that. As we go through the next few hours, still seeing that on and off shower opportunity, although in general the risk for rain will be going down as we go through early tomorrow morning, just to increase again as we go through portions of tomorrow afternoon. Now we're also going to keep an eye on the potential for some flash flooding for the rest of this evening. Some of those heavier showers could produce a good bit of water that could cause some ponding out there. By tomorrow morning, temperatures right around 68 degrees and sticking to the 80s for the next couple of afternoons. We'll also keep an eye on the chance for more rain as we get closer to the holiday weekend.
A new traffic project with mixed reviews so far, but the design is supposed to help lighten traffic on the way to that Amazon fulfillment center. We're going to hear some of those opinions next when Laura Warren joins me for News 12 at 6 o'clock.